much. First of all, I was like, genius. Not only did she combine baked goods, but books. Just
Oh,
take our money,
thank
Sarah. Just take it.
I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. Although, sorry for the money situation.
Oh, no. It's totally our pleasure because this was a great book. So, hey, Amazon, welcome back. I'm so excited to bring you Sarah Echavarre Smith today. She is the author of the new book that just came out today, The Boy with the Bookstore. You need to grab this one. Click on it right now because this is going to be one of the funnest books of fall, and you're definitely going to want to grab this. I mean, this is, oh, we were just saying, come on now. We're going to combine a bookstore with a bakery, and we're going to have a little enemies to lovers situation happening here, and all the food. I mean, I was like Googling all the food. I'm like, where can we get really good food? Where can we get this? Where can we get this? And I love learning new foods. I'm a foodie. So Sarah's going to bring all the food in with this and all the, just the swoony, steamy. Also, Sarah has a podcast, and she talks about how she writes her scenes, her steamy scenes and all of that, and just she's a master at it. I'm going to talk about how she can pull in the steam, the funny, the all of that together. So welcome to the show. I know I could just go on and on because I love this book so much, but welcome, and tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind this book.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Erin. I am so excited to be back. I'm so thrilled to be here on this amazing, amazing show. So yeah, like it's The Boy with the Bookstore is exactly what you said. It's friends to enemies to lovers between a Filipino bakery owner and bookstore owner, and it honestly just came about because I just wanted to write all of my favorite tropes in romance. So it's like bad boy, good girl trope, grumpy sunshine, forced proximity, because the two of them share a building, and the landlord is doing renovations, so they have to temporarily share a very cramped small workspace. So that kind of gets the tension going. So it's just every fun romance trope that I love, and I just wanted to write it into one book. And it was so much fun to write, and I'm so happy that you liked it. So thank you.
You know, Sarah writes, she's such a multi-talented author, you guys, because she has other books that are more serious, and then she writes her fun rom-com. And this one was like a warm hug, like just what we needed in this time. So there were so many feel-good moments in this book, which I don't want to do any spoilers because I know you guys are clicking. I can see them going up, and you're getting it. But there were just these moments in the book where all of a sudden there's a sliver of all is right with the world. There are good people out there. And things where I was like, are they going to be bad? Because I don't really want you to be bad. And then just such a good book of redemption, restoration, and faith in humanity.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that you think that, because that's exactly what I wanted you as a reader, or I want every reader to feel that when they read it. Like it is honestly, I think at the heart, it's a really fun, steamy, funny book, but it has a lot of like deep emotional moments
Yeah.
concerning family. And I think that that's important to explore in my writing, but I promise it all ends well. It
Always
all
as well. Okay, I don't even know if we're allowed to say it on Amazon, but on your podcast, you always say at the end, I can't remember what you say, but it's really funny, and you always say it, and I always wait for it, and I laugh every time. Was it good for you? Was for me?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you laugh at that, because Sky and I, my writing partner who I do that podcast with,
Yes.
we think it's hilarious. So
Yes.
thank you. I think it's funny.
No, HEAs are important. In fact, I have taught my daughter, she's 7, that she and I will watch shows, and she gets so upset and anxious, and I say, hey, it's a happily ever after. It's going to turn out okay in the end. And that's what I love about romance books is life can be really hard. You know, I don't really know anyone who, and if they do, I think they're lying, would say, oh, my family's perfect, everything's great. Everybody has crap. And, you know, reading books where everything's perfect is really unidentified. Like, you can't identify with that. But reading books where other people go through things, hard things financially, family units that just aren't what they should be or could be, and disappointment and poverty and all the things, and bringing that together and seeing how other people get through it can give other people hope. And when I wrote my book and my agent looked at it, she was like, no. She's like, that's really bad. That's deep. And I'm like, yeah, but deep stuff happens to people. And we have to talk about it, because if we don't talk about it, then we're alone with it. And then that's not healing. And so I loved your book because you touched on so many elements here. And I just love the ants. I was like, that's the kind of ant energy I want to bring in. Uh-oh, did you freeze? Oh, I see you there. Okay. That's the kind of the ant energy that I have. I have 2 ants that are like that too. So I was like, oh my gosh. I sent it to my ants. I'm like, you have to read this book. It's so good.
Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. Yeah. The female main character, Joelle, she has an aunt who lives with her family, and she's like a composite of all of my aunts from my family. It's just like a meddling, good-natured, funny, overbearing, loving aunt. Who doesn't love an aunt like that,
We all need ants like that, for sure. So have you listened to the Audible for this?
I've listened to some of it, and it's incredible. Like Donabella Mortel, she is usually the narrator for my
that's who
books.
Yep. And Dane.
And yes, and Dane Anderson, he narrates the male main character Max, and he does an incredible job. And I know that people are very into hearing like the book boyfriend narrators, and seriously, you guys, like Dane knocks it out of the park. I mean, Donabella does it too. She's incredible, but like this is my first time working with Dane, and he's amazing. So if you're an audiobook person, even if you're not, like go get the audiobook for this. It's amazing. Like I'm not an audiobook person, and I'm loving listening to this. It's incredible.
So I see she's done a lot of your other books too. That's pretty cool. Well, I didn't think I was an Audible person.
Yeah, she's amazing.
So if you guys we have a lot of people popping on right now. If you guys are popping on and you're like, I don't know, Audible, I don't know if I'm into that. It just depends on I think the narrators make or break it. For sure. And so
totally agree.
I linked it below if you guys want to grab it on Audible. I think it would be a fantastic one to listen to, especially the dual point of view. You nailed it. Is this your first book in dual point of view? Okay, I can't tell. It's so good.
It is, yes. Oh, okay,
no,
good.
I loved it.
I should say my writing partner and we've done it before, like alternating, but this is my first time doing dual POV on my own as my own author, and it was really fun, and I don't think it'll be my last. I think I really love it. It's so fun to go back and forth and to get the insight from both characters and to get what people are thinking, because that's the feedback that I get a lot of times from readers, is that like, oh, I want to know what the other character's thinking. I'm like, well, now you know. Now you know exactly what both characters are thinking, and it is really cool to get that.
I can't imagine this book not having the dual point of view, especially in some of the heated situations when they were in forced proximity, and she thought something was what it was, and it wasn't. It completely was not. It was a completely different thing than she was thinking, and in some ways she was standing there looking like the idiot in the end, like, oh crap, I did that. I think I laughed so hard. I don't want to do any spoilers, but there's this one part, you guys, when she ordered the romance books.
Oh, I'm so glad you liked that part. When I wrote that, I'm like, I hope people think this is funny and not
I mean, at first I was like, wow, she's really,
so I'm glad you think
she's really ballsy getting on his computer and spending his money like that, but it was hilarious. That was really good.
Oh, I'm so glad you think so. Yeah, I think that there are a lot of funny moments in this book that hopefully will get people laughing. So I'm glad you laughed.
You had the best cover too. Who did your cover for this?
Thank you. So Vicky Chu, she's an artist she's done all of my Berkeley romance covers. Yeah. She's incredible, and I am not. I mean, I don't. Sometimes I don't know if it's better to have a really strong vision of what you want on your cover, or if it's better to be more open. I'm like not an artist at all, so I'm not like, I have no idea what I want. I'm just like, please make it pretty. This is what the characters look like. And every time she nails it. She knocks it out of the park.
I mean, you
Yes,
have
she's incredible.
quite the collection of beautifulness here. So some of them I want to go through really quick. I picked up a few this past summer that I didn't have because I fell in love with your podcast, and every time you guys would talk about a scene from one of the books, I'm like, going to get that one. And so Simmer Down, beautiful cover here. And you have
Yes, I love that cover.
Faker. Oh my gosh. Love this one too.
Right?
And then
Cute in bed with the construction worker hat. I love that.
And On Location. So those
yes, I love that one.
Yeah, so good. So you do have you
Thank
win
you.
with first.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then how are you guys?
Thank you. I'm so lucky because I. What's that?
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, I think we had a little lag there. Go ahead though.
Oh no, I was. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, I was just saying. Thank you. I love my covers too. I'm so glad that you do too.
So beautiful. So what are you and Sky working on? I know you guys do the Sips and Strokes series together, the vibes and feels. These are amazing. You guys are so good with these. What are you guys working on anything?
Yeah, thank you. We love working on that series. We actually just finished writing book 3 of that series, the final book of that series. And yes, we're planning to release that next spring. We don't have a pub date yet, but stay tuned. We're both active on social media. We will announce it as soon as we decide it. So that's our very first series together, as Sarah Sky as our combined co-author name, and it was so much fun writing that, and it's kind of bittersweet, like it was fun, but it's a good end to a really fun series, I think.
Oh, well, I mean, I'll just say this. I didn't think you could pull off the second book. I mean, you took the evil character and made us fall in love with him, and it's like, how did they do that? I thought I hated you. So good.
That is honestly the biggest compliment that we had. Yeah, thank you. I'm so glad. Yeah, book 2 is an interesting book, but you fall in love with the jerk from book 1. So
yeah, I mean, he was a really big jerk too. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. This guy is a maniac. But no, it was really good, and that's some art right there to be able to pull people in and make them fall in love with another character. And then you have some other cool things coming up too. So you have What We Remember coming up. This is at the top of my TBR. I'm really excited for this one. You guys can pre-order this down below so that this will arrive the day of release in your doorstep or on your Kindle device, however you like to listen or read or whatever. But I love Sarah because she will put together like some serious books. And what was crazy was she wrote this one last fall. And you were on the show, and what was so touching was I had just gone through like losing a family member and a couple family members actually. And then this took place in the same city. It was so weird. And so if you need that tearjerker, rip your heart out and put it back together again, Sarah's got you covered on other serious books.
Oh, thank you. Yes, yeah. That's the best explanation, the way to describe it.
Well, a little bit more angsty. And sometimes you just need a book like that. You need a book that makes you feel. It's like that TikTok. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like, Harry, can you tell me something that's gonna make me mad? And then okay, and then it like makes it funny again. And so that's kind of how it is sometimes with books that are a little more angsty, is you get to come apart and then come back together again. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. It's a very much a emotional, like you said, tearjerker. And I know that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think it's really cathartic sometimes to have that experience when you're reading a book. So
absolutely. I go through phases. I don't know what you guys think watching this, where I will have to do something serious, have to do something funny. And after reading something angsty, sometimes you need a light rom-com with all the good tropes. And that's where I can't even describe this as anything but. I mean, there's a little bit of, obviously, conflict, of course. but so many like warm hug moments that I was like, oh, I needed this book. Yeah.
Oh, that makes me so happy. That's exactly what I was hoping for when I wrote it. Just like a fun comfort read. Because, like you said, like the world is a rough place sometimes, and there's a lot of really sad, stressful things happening. And I just want to make people happy with my romance books. Honestly, that's really all I want.
Escapism at its finest.
Yes, yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So, what are you currently working on right now?
So right now I'm working on a bunch of things like I normally am. I always feel like I have like a million things I'm working on and I'm trying to keep them straight. Um, I'm working on a couple of writing projects that don't have um, release dates yet, but stay tuned. I'll announce those. I have a couple more books coming out next year. I have What We Remember, like you said, that comes out in January, and then my next romance comes out in February, and that's um, a really fun like regular girl famous guy type or celebrity regular person trope. So I haven't released the blurb for that, so that'll be coming soon. So I'm really excited about that one. That comes out in February, and a couple of projects that I can't say anything yet about, which I am sure you know what that's like. Like you're excited about it, but you can't talk about it yet.
Yes.
It's super annoying, but I promise I'm working on stuff. I promise.
That is exciting. Well, we're excited for anything that you put out. You put out some amazing books. I always like to ask our authors too, what are you currently reading right now?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm reading so many good things. So a book came out a couple weeks ago, Would You Rather by Allison Ashley. That's a really fun romance. That's like best friends to lovers, marriage of convenience. It's so good. Like she just writes so many good, like you were saying, like a little bit of angst, but
Mhm.
not too much, like just enough to get you like emotionally invested, and then like something really cute and hot happens, and it's perfect. It's so good. Um that book is amazing. I feel like there are a bunch of books that came out today that I'm just super excited about, like Denise Williams' new book,
Oh,
Do You Take This Man?
yes.
I'm so excited to read that one. Doesn't the cover for that one look so good? It looks
My Kindle
amazing.
right now, and I cannot
And
wait.
then, oh, is it? Yes, yeah, it's so good. I'm so excited for that book. And then Hannah Holt has a book called Forever Never Always. Um, I'm in the middle of reading that one, and that's a really amazing like single dad
Hmm.
romance. Because it's kind of, I mean, I feel like a lot of romance is very like young single people, which is great, love that. But like it's cool to see like a single mom or a single dad get there happily ever after too. So I love that.
Absolutely. What are some of your favorite tropes?
Oh my god. Well, obviously enemies to lovers, if anyone's known anything that I've ever written in the romance realm. I love enemies to lovers. I love only one bed. I love that
Yeah.
trope. I love forced proximity. I love I love friends to lovers. I feel like I'm really particular about how I like that though. But I love a good friends to lovers trope. I love pretty much any variation on enemies to lovers. So like rivals to lovers, competitors to lover, like any type of like there's tension and we hate each other, but we secretly want to like get together because there's
Yeah.
something about this tension that like gets us going, like that kind of, I don't know. That's not the most creative answer, but it's the truth. I love enemies to lovers. It's so good.
And it's so fun to mix it up and throw these in different books and really make it work. I love that too. That's awesome. I always like to ask our authors too, what
Yes.
are you watching right now?
Oh gosh, what am I watching? So I've been on a Netflix kick recently, and I've been watching a lot of for whatever reason, random documentaries and then like horror movies. I don't know. I feel like I've said that to you before when I've been on here. I don't know what's wrong with me. I watched the Woodstock documentary on Netflix, and then I watched a horror movie called The Ritual on Netflix. So
Ooh.
I'm not getting any. Yeah. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I need to like. I mean, I love romance and I love rom coms. Absolutely love them. But sometimes I feel like I need to do like just have a different show or something, like watch a different movie of a different genre, just to give my brain a break, so that then I'm excited to write something romantic again. I don't know, I'm kind of weird, obviously, anybody who knows me.
No, I think it's hard to write and watch things that are similar at the same time. I don't know. I I have to be careful reading things and then writing
Yeah, I
things because I kind of get into it. Like I'll
yeah.
start writing and I'm like, wait a minute, I lost my story that was in my head. So I get it where you have to switch gears. Another thing, I really love Brene Brown, and she talks about how when she writes her books, she'll put
Mhm.
on something that's like white noise just so her brain can wander and think.
Yeah.
And she watches a lot of old documentaries and things like that too. And then she said it somehow puts her in like a mental white space that she can think, and her books come out of her better that way. I don't know. Makes sense.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right, and she's super prolific, so whatever
Yeah.
works for her, maybe we should try.
Right. If it works, we'll go for it. Yeah. So, um,
Yeah.
what advice would you have for an aspiring author?
Oh, honestly, don't let, and this is honestly, this is the hardest thing for me, but once I started doing this, I think it helped me a lot. Don't let what other people are doing dictate what you're doing or what you should be doing, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
just write. Like don't worry about like, oh, this person has an agent or this person got to deal with whatever. Like, oh, is my story going to be done, before? Like don't worry about all that. Like the most important thing you can do is just focus on yourself and your writing. So block out that whatever you need to do. Maybe that means getting off of social media for a week and not looking at what everybody else is doing. Like just write what you want to write and don't let any outside influences affect that, because you'll never get it done if you're always worrying about what other people are doing or what you should or shouldn't be doing. It'll just derail you. So just focus on your writing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Does
Absolutely.
that is that helpful?
That absolutely makes sense. I get it. I mean, I don't think people realize what goes into writing books. I have so much more
A
respect.
lot.
Yes, so much. Like a piece of our soul is in that book. And, once you hold someone's baby in in your hands and you're like, you have no idea what went into this in that space of life for that author, for sure. So,
Yeah, exactly. It's more than just, I think a lot of people think like, oh, you just sit down and you write and it's done. It's like, no, it's so much more than that. It's editing and revising and marketing and making connections and having a presence on social. It's so much other work that you don't even want to do, but you have to. So no, you're so right.
it's like juggling 3 full-time jobs. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it kind of sucks in that way, but you do it because you love it. You love writing stories and connecting with readers. Like I think that's the reason why I do it, and that's the reason why you and others do it.
What's the hardest part of this writing process for you?
The hardest part is probably how um, how difficult it can be to navigate just the publishing world. Um, it's a very difficult industry to establish yourself in, and it's really easy to get jaded and cynical about things because things never work out the way, or I guess I should say, things very rarely work out the way you want them to. Um, a lot of times things take longer. Um, things, projects, ideas you have don't always get made or written, and that's really frustrating. Just learning to navigate this industry and not let it like steal the joy that I have for the actual act of writing and telling stories. That's been really that's been really challenging. And that to me is the hardest part of it currently. I'm sure if you ask me this question, like in a few months, I'll think of it. I'll find something else that I get really upset about. But it's just, I mean, I think most authors can think of a moment when they felt like, oh, this is so hard. This is so like, can I even do this? And it's just, as negative as that feeling is, you're not alone in feeling that. You just have to get over that hump and just remind yourself why you do this in the first place and keep doing it for that reason.
I think you're so right. It's important to know that why as well, because that why is what's going to keep you going when you're so sick of editing and yet you have edits back due and you're like, oh my gosh, I would pay to make this go away at this time.
Oh my gosh, I've thought that so many times.
I'm like, I would pay to make this go away. Pay. Name your price.
Yeah, whatever you want. I just never want to look at this again, ever.
Whatever it takes, just make this go away forever. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, where else can we find you and support you online?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm at author Sarah S, and I'm pretty active on social media. So if you want to just come say hi, drop me a DM. I'm always doing random things on social media. And yeah, I'd love to hear from you.
Yes. And what is your podcast so they can follow that too?
Yeah, so I have the Quick and Dirty Romance podcast. I do that with my writing partner, Sky McDonald. We write together, Sarah Sky. And we're on a summer hiatus right now because we always do this every summer. We work on our projects and then we come back in the fall with new episodes. So now would be a perfect time to go and listen to the backlog of our episodes. We've got a lot. We talk about everything. We talk about like the inside scoop on the publishing industry, indie publishing. What do you do when you have writer's block? People who hate on you on social media. We talk about everything. Sex scenes. We talk about it all. Yeah.
Wait, people are gonna hate on us online?
I know. Yeah. I know. Surprise! Not everyone's gonna love you, which is really annoying, but it happens.
They would all love
not
me.
Fun.
I thought they would all want to love my book and love me.
I know.
Just kidding. Oh
yeah.
I think I saw the funniest quote the other day. It's like, how do you sleep at night? And I was like, and it said, with the fan on medium.
Yeah, I mean, I just got it. Yeah.
Well, you guys have got to grab this one, The Boy with the Bookstore. It is the best. I tell you, this boy's anything but nerdy. He's all tatted up and awesome and hot. And she's this beautiful baker who makes baking feel so sexy and just whips up these things. Also, I think I blame you for the last 5 pounds because every time I was reading, I was like, I just need a scone or something right now.
I'm so sorry. I should have put like a disclaimer on the front.
She's like,
this may
take one for the team. It's part of the book, but you'll be inspired to drink coffee and have baked goods and just fall in love with this book. This is the perfect book for right now. Just buy it, add it to the top of your TBR, and you'll be sorry. You'll be grateful.
Thank you. So I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you. That's honestly the best thing you could ever say about any book I've ever written. Thank you.
Well, this, I don't know. I love your serious books too, but this is probably at the top. I don't know. I really loved the others as well, but this is at the top, guys. This is, I don't know. If I have to say, I didn't think your books could get any better, but man, this was chef's kiss 5-star for sure.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm going to cry.
No, so good. You just did a really good job with that one. And if Berkley doesn't give you like a 5-book deal ASAP, I'm going to be sad. Come on, Berkley.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, guys. Grab this today on however you like to read it, Kindle, Audible, or paperback's my favorite because I just think the cover's so beautiful. Grab it today. This is going to be one of the best books of this year, and you're going to love it. So this is just, I just predict really good things for this one because it was so great. So thank you so much, Sarah. This was so much fun, and I can't wait to read more from you.
Thank you so much for having me on and being so kind and lovely. It means the world. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, guys, be sure to hit that follow button and also follow Sarah here on Amazon. If you go to her book and click the hyperlink, her name is the hyperlink, you can follow her here so you don't miss out on any of her upcoming releases. Like she said, this one's coming up in January. You won't want to miss out on any of her stuff. So be sure to hit that follow button so you don't miss out on any of her awesome books. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sarah. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. I will see you at 1 o'clock for a live cooking show. Bye, guys.
Bye.
1 second.